Hi, it's your girl Simply Royalty, and I'm here tonight with my very first nighttime video blog. Yes, I wanted to do some videos, some very personal videos, some very, informative videos, but they're gonna be nighttime video blogs. And the first topic for me is gonna be something that is very personal, something very informative, and hopefully it could be an outreach in some way. So tonight our topic will be sexual abuse. Yes, I know sexual abuse is something that it happens, but especially in our community, in the Black community, in the Caribbean community, it's something that is not spoken about. It is something that is swept under the rug, and you're more so taught to just deal with it. However, I just wanted to speak on it because I myself have been a victim of sexual abuse, and I think that it could be a help to maybe persons that is going through this very thing right now, or to help persons that went through it and that is not over it. 2020 is a very trying year. We're not sure if our kids are going back to school. We're not sure if they're going to be home. For kids that are being sexually abused or being abused in general, this is a very difficult thing because you're stuck with your abuser most of the times. What I have noticed is sexual abuse most of the times does not come from a stranger. Sometimes it's someone that's in the family, it's close net to the family, it's a family friend, it's someone that is near. A lot of us have the concept that, we don't send our kids nowhere, our kids don't go nowhere, so these things can't happen, and this is not true. Most of the times, the abuse comes from within the home, or it's close to the home. Sorry, I just talk with my hands, and that is really bad. Anyways, the only way I have seen from my own experience to know if your child is being sexually abused or to try to prevent it is to create a bond with your kids. I am Caribbean, I am a Trinidadian, which means we don't really create bonds with our children. Well, all the time. We more so come from strict parents, and your parents, your mother, your father, they are the boss, and you is the child, and you used to stay in a child's place. And I think that even though that have worked for us in certain areas, that have failed us, because it is hard for a child to come out and say, yes, this family member is abusing me, or that friend is abusing me, or even the stranger is abusing me, when you don't really have that genuine bond with that child. Another thing I noticed is asking does not help. Some people will, because I came from the household where my mother would ask. My mother would say, she would ask, and it never opened a window for me to openly say, well, yes, this is what happened. It doesn't make it easier. So a lot of parents think, well, if I ask my kid, we have a pretty okay relationship. They will tell me, and that is not true. That is not the case. At least it was not for me. I did not tell my parents about this until earlier 2020, and I'm 25 years of age. So it doesn't open a window. The best thing, I'm not telling you to go be friends with your kids, but create a bond that if anything is to be happening to your children, they should feel comfortable to come to you and talk to you about it. Another thing is a lot of parents abandon their kids. And when I say abandon, I don't mean that you drop off your kids by, you just it have total abandonment, and it have parents that are just absent. The present, but the absent. And this also creates a window for things like this to happen. Sometimes you have parents that is working excessively, parents that, they just living their life. You understand? And that leaves a window for predators to basically come in and take advantage of your kids because they're unsupervised. And like I said, most of the time, the abuser is someone that is close knit or they are already in the family. I have some notes because I couldn't remember every topic, every little point I want to touch on. So another thing is and this is a big one for me personally. I think some of us, we have generational curse in our family. A lot of us don't want to talk about that either. And sometimes the generational curse is the sexual abuse. So before my time, I know there was other people in my family that was sexually abused. And I'm pretty sure after my age group, there is also there's also more. It's not that people don't know, but it's more so that nothing is done about it. We're not from the type of a family that would just try to problem solve, like we talk about it, like we solve it. I have actually witnessed for myself, it comes so close to being a sexual abuse situation in the family that came so close to where officers were involved, and there was actually going to be a solution. And instead of family members pulling together and helping the victim, they pull together and help the person that is doing the abuse, right? They pull together and help the predator instead of helping the victim. Now, as somebody that was looking on the outside, it does not help you come forward and also say, well, hey, I get abused too. Why are they helping this person when this person is the victim and you're not helping them? Generational curse. It is a sad situation. It is a sad situation. And I think that because we don't speak up about it, it just pushed aside and it continues. It just goes on and on and on and on, and it's almost like it's never ending. I think the only way to really stop it is to communicate and to find instead of people hiding stuff, I think they should really understand that someone is making a conscious choice. From the time you're small, you know that if you do certain things, you're gonna either go to jail, and as an adult, if you're making the conscious decision to sexually, whether it is to kiss, whether it's to touch, whether it's to have oral sex, whether it's to have penetration with a minor, with non-consensual, you're supposed to know the consequence, So for me to be on the outside and look at, like I said, in this particular instance that I remember, to see that they pulled together and they didn't help the victim. They helped the opposite party that was actually in the wrong. That was actually, doing something that is wrong. It was just mind-blowing. And for me, that was more reason to be quiet, because speaking up wasn't going to get you any help anyways, So that is another thing that we have to try to really break these generational curses. I haven't really figured out how to do that, but in making this video, I was just thinking, maybe it's have somebody that I could help, somebody that somebody else could help, or they might see it and they might learn a couple of things from it and might learn how to cope and what to do and things like that. And in these generational curses, in these families that have these type of dysfunction, if you're someone not being abused in that settings, I think personally the best thing to do is to speak to someone on the outside. you might have, you're looking for someone more mature. You might have an adult in your life that is not a family member, that's not connected and not corrupt in that sense, and you could talk to them. Do it. You know, some kids, for me, I know I was worried about, my mom is already a single mother, and my mother getting help from family members, me going to on the outside and report something like that, where my mother gonna get the help from? You understand? So even though it's like a conflict, it's a mind conflict. But I would think that if you're going through something like that now, the best thing to do is really talk to someone on the outside. You know, especially if you do have nobody that you feel you could trust in the family that would actually do something about it. You may as well as just speak to someone in the outside that could really get you that help. Another thing is, abusers have no face. And this is something that I find real amazing. People would look at someone and just say, you know what, she look like a nice girl, I trust her. He looks like a nice guy, I trust him. Sexual abusers have no face. They have no look. They don't walk around saying, you know, they don't. So you can't just say, well, now I trust this one, I trust that one, and I don't trust the rest. It's about a lot of people in my life that my parents would never trust just for looking at them. And I could guarantee you these people will not perfectly fine. And I'll give an example. I grew up with my stepfather from ever since I could remember till about the age of 9 or 10. Yes, till about the age of 9 or 10. And never, my stepfather was someone that he drinks, he smokes, he's lying, he is indulging a lot of things. And you know, these are the people that someone might be skeptical about, and never once, you know. And then you would have someone that maybe have a great job, you know, there's an upstanding person in the community, and you might say, no, this is more upstanding person, and you will not know that person might be the very person that will, you know, do something inappropriate. So you definitely don't want to take people by face value. Sexual predators have no face. They could be a woman, a man, in great positions. They have no face, really and truly. So another thing I think a lot of people don't really pay attention to is they don't pay attention to who their kids like and who their kids don't like. And this is a simple one. If you keep trying to, you know, like sometimes you want to go somewhere and you drop your kids here and they don't want to stay there, maybe it's for a reason. If your kids just dislike someone for no reason, just like that, maybe it's for a reason. If your kids just don't, you know, they just don't want to go by some type of family member or some type of friend, pay attention. A lot of things are, like I said, swept to the side and people don't really pay attention. There's always little hints and signs. But if you're a parent that's absent in any way, or you don't pay attention very closely, you may not be able to detect the signs. And you know, yeah, that is basically a little bit about it. You know, as time goes on, you have to, if you have been a person that has been sexually abused, you have to at some point in time let go. As much as is something that it's painful to do and it's hard to do, you sometimes have to let go. You find yourself blaming a lot of people in your life. For me, I know for a very long time I blamed my parents secretly. I blamed my abusers because, you know, it's like, why? I didn't really understand. But I realized that I was only keeping back myself, really. You know, no, their life was going on, because apart from who knew, everybody else's life was going on as normal. It was just my life that was kind of delayed. And in order for me to totally move on, I needed to forgive and to let go. And it might sound crazy, but I have forgive. Yeah, totally. You know, I could have been bitter about it. I could have been angry. I'm also feel sorry for them now, because it's like you have no idea what you did to someone, to someone's life. You not only delayed my, you not only delayed my life in that kind of way, because you know I have to build back what was broken. I have to build back my self-esteem. I have to build back my self-worth. I have to understand that sex is not, you know, just like this. I have to build up my trust with people, because I too am a mother. So it's like you have no idea how much you delay someone's life with things like this. So I kind of just felt sorry for them. So I definitely forgive. I didn't forget, but I forgive and I let go. You know, that is why maybe now it's so much easier to just talk about it, because no hatred on my side. Another thing you definitely want to do is speak up. Like I said, find someone you could trust and speak up about it. Learn to really love yourself again. Understand that you're worth much more than maybe these people make you feel like you're worth. Build yourself back up. It takes a long time, but it's not impossible. If it takes counseling, if it takes talking to someone, if whatever is the avenue that you use, do it so that you could, you know, you could build yourself back up. And I personally, I had to learn that sex is something more meaningful than that. Sexual acts is something more meaningful than that. And another thing would just be to try and help. And that is what I'm trying to do now. I don't know really how to go about it, because I myself still transitioning and going through, you know, the phases. But I definitely want to help others, because like I said, I know for a fact that in my very own immediate circle, there's a lot of people that have been and that is. But because there is no outreach, because everyone is told to, you know, just deal with it, or because people know for a fact if they talk up about it, nothing will happen, they just unmute. Everybody just unmute. It's a sad situation, but I hope that maybe someone would see the video. It would help you in some way. And also, if it is you feel like you want to talk about it, or you want help and I could in any way, I would. For the people that is close to me, like I would say more family and stuff, we as women, we need to do better. Yeah. Because like I said, generational curse. These things happen to our parents, they happen to us, then it trickles down to our children. Nothing is done. Nothing is said. Nothing is done. There is zero consequence. And I think that needs to change. That needs to change, because when you're grown and you have the knowledge and you know right from wrong and you choose to do wrong, there should be a consequence. I think that we as islanders, we definitely need to be more vocal with these things, and we definitely need to help one another. Help. When I say help one another, I mean like get the correct help. Yeah. So anyone that wanna reach out to me personally, I will definitely open my doors to help whoever I could. I have a women's group. If you don't feel comfortable just talking to one person or to me alone, and you want to be joining the group and you could get help, because I have spoken to other people that have been victims of sexual abuse and they too can pull around and help, feel free to find me on Instagram at simply double underscore royalty double underscore. I am more than welcome to assist in any way, you know. I will probably touch more on these topics later on in my vlogging. But I definitely hope that it helped somebody. I definitely hope that it touched somebody. And you know, be more vocal and let me just pull together and really help each other. This is your girl Simply Royalty, and this is my very first video blog. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope it was informative. And I hope to see you again. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and follow me on Instagram at simply double underscore royalty double underscore.